This the introduction, yep, I'm introducing me. 6 feet, 300 pounds, known to rock the newest sneaks. Coolin', never foolin', rockin' G-Shocks like it's jewelry. Counting mad currency, flowing better than fluently. A man told me my years ain't match my wisdom. I can't remember his name, I promised I won't forget him. While all my friends was getting caught up in the system, I was slipping through the cracks.
Killing it. The most talked about hypothetical matchup of all time outside of Goku vs. Superman is none other than the Honorable Muhammad Ali, may Allah have mercy on him, versus Mike Tyson. Welcome to Neutral Corner, where we take fighters from past and present from all prominent combat sports and stack them up against each other in a fictitious head-to-head battle, going by their statistics, accomplishments, and attributes to hypothesize who would be victorious in the fight between two combatants. I'm your host, K1ng Brimezus Kamara, the beautiful black man, the most powerful keyboard warrior on the planet, and self-proclaimed kickboxing prophet. Before we begin today, I want to remind you guys that you can buy K1ng Kamara shirts of different designs on Teespring. There are several designs, and this month we're doing several designs based off of the Black Panther movie. And since it's Black History Month, I suggest you guys catch up on your reading of Black Boxers. My most favorite books are Muhammad Ali, The Greatest, The Fight by Sugar Ray Leonard, and Mike Tyson's Undisputed Truth. Links to the shirts and the books are in the description below. And now let's get with the video. Standing at 6 feet 3 inches, Ali is regarded as the leading heavyweight boxer of the 20th century and remains the only 3-time lineal heavyweight champion. During 1964, Ali reigned as the undisputed heavyweight champion. His records of the most wins in heavyweight title bouts and most wins in unified championship bouts in modern boxing history were unbeaten for 35 and 38 years respectively, with a record of 56 wins and 5 losses and 37 KOs. Standing at 5'10", Mike Tyson was the youngest to ever win a world heavyweight championship and is considered to be the scariest and most ferocious fighter in history, with a record of 50 wins, 6 losses, 2 no contests, and 44 KOs. Before I get much further in the video, I'm going to tell you guys right now that I believe who will win this fight, and that is Mike Tyson. I know I just made a lot of people mad by saying that, especially the most nostalgic boxing fans, but hear me out. Born Cassius Clay and later named Muhammad Ali, the Honorable Muhammad Ali was the sports icon of the 20th century. Personally, he's one of my all-time biggest heroes, not only as a fighter but also a black activist and humanitarian. He paved the way for black fighters to becoming successful in the ring and outspoken outside without having to be puppets of promoters and society. He was the voice of a lot of oppressed black people who were literally beaten, castrated, and maimed by white supremacists. By standing up against oppression and for what he believed in, the powers that be did their best to make an example out of Muhammad Ali, stripping him of his boxing license to fight in the United States and nullifying his passport to leave the country for refusing to fight in the Vietnam War. Very similar situation to what Colin Kaepernick is dealing with today in the NFL, but probably worse because the powers that be did eventually succeed in defeating Muhammad Ali. As the greatest rapper of all time, Jay-Z said in one of his songs,
America trying to emasculate the greats. Murder Malcolm gave Cassius the shakes.
But this is Neutral Corner. There's no room for politics here unless it's combat sports related. What I'm trying to say is that if I could have lived anyone else's career, I would have loved to have gone through Muhammad Ali. I feel that there is definitely plenty of other boxers throughout history that had great challenges in their career, if not more so than Muhammad Ali, within the ring or with opponents. But it was the scenarios around Muhammad Ali's career that really make him special and unique. In 1966, 2 years after winning the heavyweight title, Ali further antagonized the white establishment by refusing to be drafted into the U.S. military, citing his religious beliefs and opposition to the American involvement in the Vietnam War. He was eventually arrested and found guilty of draft evasion charges and stripped of his boxing titles. He successfully appealed the decision of the U.S. Supreme Court, which overturned his conviction in 1971, by which time he had not fought for nearly 4 years and therefore lost a period of his peak performance as an athlete. Because of this, I will analyze Ali's chances against Prime Tyson before and after his suspension. To give a short summary of this fight and how it will most likely have taken place, let's take a look at Muhammad Ali's fight against Henry Cooper, where Muhammad Ali got floored in the 4th round, and Henry Cooper wasn't even putting that much pressure on Muhammad Ali. And Harry Cooper is not better than Mike Tyson in any way, shape, or form, especially the aggression, speed, and power. Just imagine if it was Mike Tyson in that scenario.
A lot more movement than he is now. He's allowing Mike Tyson to trap him in the corner.
Tyson on his way to becoming one of the youngest heavyweight champions of all time. Bangs the body. Wow, that uppercut is Tyson. Catches him with a right left hook, and he goes down.
If Muhammad Ali fought Mike Tyson during that specific day and age, Muhammad Ali would not be able to clinch as much without getting deducted points, like how much he was able to clinch against George Foreman.
Of the heavyweight champion of the world, George Foreman. Foreman has his work cut out for him. Foreman looks like, a bit arm weary until that right hand is trying to set Ali up. Right hand misses. That right hand scored by Ali. Look at these combinations that Ali lands.
Most of the fighters of Muhammad Ali's day, particularly the heavyweights, weren't used to countering a moving target, which allowed Muhammad Ali to get away with a lot of his limited offense, such as not going to the body. Certain fighters, who I'm sure you have heard of, did better with Muhammad Ali's style, such as Sugar Ray Leonard and Roy Jones Jr. Both were prolific body punchers in their own right and also had to impose their footwork against fighters that were very aggressive with their foot speed. When it comes to analyzing Mike Tyson's application, his style was very demanding and required constant moving of the body, especially head movement. Mike Tyson was a fighter that could go the distance, but wasn't the best at doing so. His style revolved around finishing the fight as early as possible due to the sheer amount of energy spent. He was not good at fighting out of a deficit either. Due to his size and stature, he needed to exert much energy because being a passive-aggressive fighter would lead to his downfall and make him an easy target for much bigger predators like you would see here. Take Buster Douglas, for example.
Again, he's down, he comes with the uppercut. Come on, look, Buster's throwing shots back. Look at this. Heather is Buster landing the, nice uppercut. Like Buster Douglas. Look at this. He's knocked Mike Tyson.
Now, Mike Tyson had excellent defense and even a great punish game. The big flaw in his, particularly his defense, was the fact that he could not fight laterally or going backwards to save his life. Literally, Mike Tyson was a trained missile that was only meant to go forward, never backwards. So against the most versatile fighters like Holyfield or Lennox Lewis that had a great footwork and a great punish game and could also fight in the pocket and do all kinds of things as heavyweights, Mike Tyson would struggle even on his best day. Partly due to the fact that those fighters were being more versatile and more well-rounded than Mike Tyson. Also equally part to Mike Tyson being extremely small for a heavyweight to begin with. Eventually, the science is going to catch up. As far as Mike Tyson's style being emulated among the newer generations, it wasn't done as much because of a few key factors. One, it's very physically demanding, and two, it's not as practical as other styles, such as the Klitschko's, for example, that maximize on their reach to dominate the division. Boxing is not the sport of minimum efficiency, maximum effort. It is the sport of maximum efficiency and minimum effort. Mike Tyson's style is more of a crowd-pleasing style, as opposed to a Klitschko or a Mayweather, anybody you can virtually name in combat sports. His style is just pure carnage. It's not void of technicalities or a high degree of science, but as Mike Tyson got older, he was going to hit a rough patch regardless, even if he didn't get into legal trouble or on drugs. That being said, Muhammad Ali's style is definitely better than Mike Tyson's style, especially when it comes to longevity, as you've seen, at least in regards to fighting from a distance, being mobile, and not initiating in too many brawls. Most pound-for-pound fighters across all combat sports apply this application of hitting the opponent and not being hit to a large extent. Look at Mayweather, Anderson Silva from MMA, Sidney Pino from Glory Kickboxing and Muay Thai. They all maximize on hitting and not being hit. So in theory, if Ali was born into a different time and was allowed to adapt to and learn the mechanics of that specific era, he could in theory beat Mike Tyson. But if you take Ali for what he was against Mike Tyson, I honestly think that Mike Tyson would have killed him. Had Mike Tyson been in certain situations that some of Ali's opponents were in when they fought him, it's no way that Ali would have gone at the same scenario in the same fashion.
Only got.
Ali. Oh, and a right hand shot. He just
Ali on the rope. Ali with the rope to go. A lot more movement than he is now. He's allowing Mike Tyson to trap him in the corner.
not be saved by the bell as the big right hand lands. Tyson knows he's got him in big trouble. If he doesn't answer it, Richard Steele has moved in.
He can't get off 2 punches. I mean, that is a mark of a shot fighter when you can't get off punches.
Should be hanging on. Now with the right hand, the left hand. He's got to hang on, or he'll stop the fight. Down he goes. Oh, he's hurt. Tyson on his way to becoming one of the youngest heavyweight champions of all time. Bangs the body. Wow, with that uppercut is Tyson. Catches him with a leg left hook, and he goes down.
And that's due to the competition of Ali not being that advanced in the meta as fighters became in the heavyweight division in the future.
You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this.
In addition to that, Mike Tyson was used to fighting fighters more comparable to Muhammad Ali. In fact, he spent most of his career training to counter that style. There are some similarities that Ali had to deal with similar to Mike Tyson, such as Joe Frazier's head movement or George Foreman's power. But Joe Frazier's head movement wasn't quite as good and precise as Mike Tyson, and he did not have the same kind of foot speed whatsoever. Nor did he have the same offensive game as Mike Tyson. I'm sure most would agree that George Foreman could hit harder than Mike Tyson overall, but it was not so much as how hard you can hit, but it's also a great deal of accuracy and timing. And George Foreman's follow-up and combination game was nowhere close to Mike Tyson. I love and respect those fighters, but sadly, I would have to give to Mike Tyson. The only way I see Ali winning is if it's a 15-round fight with the rules and regulations of the 60s and the 70s, and if he survives to the late rounds. He wouldn't be allowed to fight Mike Tyson the same way he fought Frazier and Foreman without getting disqualified for clinching Mike Tyson multiple times. Again, I want to reiterate that if I could live someone else's life, it would definitely be Muhammad Ali's. I truly enjoyed the fight he took part in and what he stood for and how his career went. I don't think that he fought the best competition overall, but it's definitely up there, and the circumstances around those fights were nothing short of spectacular. But Mike Tyson would beat him. Please let me know what you guys think about this fight and about the video in the comments below. Constructive and warranted harsh criticism towards me is always accepted, but please be respectful amongst each other at the very least. Anyway guys, if you like what I said, please hit that like button. If you dislike what I said, please hit that like button. And if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, as it will help me out a great deal. And before you go, don't forget to check out the K1ng Kamara t-shirts and the books I recommended. The links will be in the description below. With that said, I will see you guys next time with Neutral Corner episode 14.
This the introduction. Yep, I'm introducing me. 6 feet, 300 pounds, known to rock the newest sneaks. Cool and never fooling, rocking G-Shocks like it's jewelry. Counting mad currency, flowing better than fluently. A man told me my years ain't match my wisdom. I can't remember his name. I promised I won't forget him. While all my friends was getting caught up in the system, I was slipping through the cracks, the only one they can't distract. I'm just matching up my goals and my decisions. Whatever ain't in the picture.